There's no trilogy for me as great as this Silent Hill trilogy. Just the unsettling atmosphere and constant anxiety that those games put upon you, while having some of the most interesting and in-depth stories, is like no surprise that I love Silent Hill and DVD. I have all of Cheryl's alternate character skins because I love all of the characters, but if you flip over to the killer side, you have Pyramid Head. He looks great, and his overall visual design with his power and cages are great, but his gameplay, well, it comes to playing Pyramid Head, you are often the one being tormented, not the survivors. Just as I imagine Pyramid Head was when he's in this kart racer. Oh yeah, I'm serious. Look at how goofy he looks. He's a cold-blooded torturer who drives go-karts in his free time. Well, whoa. This is real. Okay. But I wanted to suggest a change to Pyramid Head. A big change. One that not only better represents him in the Silent Hill franchise as a whole, but one that keeps who he is while making him stronger in other respects. So first off, let's talk about the concept of Pyramid Head as a whole. What his current playstyle is, and what he offers now. First off, you have his main M2 power. Holding it will place his sword in the ground and create trails that you can then use M1 to launch a straight line that goes through walls and deals a health state. These trails will also give the tormented status effect, which would allow Pyramid Head the unique effect of putting survivors into cages. This is a far quicker way of hooking survivors, but with this effect, they get caged very far away from you and will get moved if you stay too close. Also, if a survivor is on death hook, you can do a quick mori if they are tormented. So, Pyramid Head now. You would think that you would want to play for chase, use your trails and projectile as anti-loop, and apply torment effectively to streamline the hooking process, causing some time save. Well, that's not how most Pyramid Head players play him. In fact, he's one of the most optimal tunnelers in his current state. Just because his projectile with his powers allow for an easy double hit when someone unhooks in front of him, he basically ignores the endurance, so then he can just chase the unhooked survivor with no issue. Not to mention, body blocks also don't affect him because his power will penetrate through survivors. So, most of the time, Pyramid Head just wants to camp, meaning he doesn't even use his cage power that's unique to him in the first place. Not only that, but it's more optimal and far simpler to use his M2 and chase to simply fake it so that survivors get zoned and path terribly. It doesn't have to be said that on Survivor's side, this playstyle is absolutely terrible. And sadly, with Pyramid Head, this is a commonality. But on the killer side, it's not much different. It feels clunky, and your power in general can just feel useless if you're trying to use it in chase. Just because of how much delay it has, it seems like the survivors have the easiest time of dodging it. But, of course, it still feels like an essential part of Pyramid Head. But regardless, as of now, Pyramid Head doesn't really fit into a category that well, while still having unique interactions using his cages and his power. But it seems like, and the description describes him as a map control killer. But as of now, in practice, that doesn't really do much. His trails often don't even spread across the map, and even if they do, they don't do anything. So, in practice, he's really just not in a category, because his chase power is also kind of lacking as anything but a zoning tool, as it can be super inconsistent with getting hits. So, what category should he be in? Well, I wanted his chase power the same, but I wanted to focus Pyramid Head as a map control killer, which is what they wanted him to be in the first place. But I do think it's more fitting because when it comes to James' rendition of Silent Hill and future appearances, he is shown to be somewhat of a ruler of the Silent Hill realm. And to make him represent this universal torment, I thought a quick change would be to give him 2 Skull Merchant drones, a jailer, and clown bottles. There could be more changes to this. I think also giving him Pinhead's box would be a good change, but I think overall this would increase his strength just a little bit more and get into a lot better of a place than he is now, and really make survivors feel that torment. All right, we're not trying to torment people that much. But let's get into the power rework itself and break it down part by part. First off, we have Rights of Judgment. The only change I would add here is that a new icon would be displayed above the current power meter that would represent the amount of remaining trail you have left. So you can manage your trails a bit more effectively and know just when your other trails are going to disappear. The reason for this is that he has a new power meter that charges over a period of 45 seconds and would unlock the use of 2 new abilities. Now to another part of his kit that I made a big change to, is Punishment of the Damned, his projectile. Now when you use your power, Punishment of the Damned, it takes 10% of your power meter and leaves a trail of Rights of Judgment in its attack path. And if it collides with a pallet, it will open a portal to the realm of Silent Hill, and straitjackets will begin to break the pallet over a period of 3 seconds. If this power is used to break a pallet, it consumes 25% of your power meter. Also, to add an anti-tunneling measure, survivors coming off the hook would have a 3-second immunity to his power. That way he could not double hit and immediately remove the endurance. This change overall would make his power have a use in chase other than its typical use in destroying pallets, which would not only assist him and keep his pressure up despite survivors pre-dropping, but also go for a hit through a pallet, and even if he misses it, he still takes the pallet. This would be a more unique effect for Pyramid Head to hit and destroy the pallet, but also be able to hit a survivor. The new added effect of having trails spawn in the attack area also slots him in more of a map control killer, as you'll more often have trails up at a time. Now let's get into his new added ability, Servants of Torment. Using the active ability button will activate Servants of Torment. A map-wide sound cue of metal scraping will play, and Pyramid Head will be locked in an animation for 3 seconds. This will summon creatures of Silent Hill over the period of 1 second to appear from within a Rights of Judgment trail, swiping at anything above them for 3 seconds. Any survivors who are on the trails during the swipe attacks will be hit for a health state and tormented. Any tormented survivor within 4 meters of a trail will be revealed via Killer Instinct. If a downed survivor who is tormented is within 4 meters of these trails, they will be caged remotely. This attack would take 50% of your power meter to activate. It can be activated as long as you have 50% meter. This would only apply for Rights of Judgment trails that exist at the time of using the ability, meaning newly created trails will not have servants. This ability, along with his ability to create trails of Punishment of the Damned, would allow him for far more map pressure than he does now, making him a true controller of the trial that not only fits him as a character, but his original concept that they intended with the Rights of Judgment trails in the first place. Now, lastly for this rework, it's time to look at those gross add-ons. I will rapid fire the add-ons so we don't really have to spend too long on each add-on. Lead Ring, unchanged. Dead Butterfly, increase the activation speed of Rights of Judgment by 0.3 seconds. This is a good and unique brown that is kind of like a trend for newer killers that, this is the only add-on that would have this effect, but it's a slightly strong effect and would be a good quality of life, similar to stuff like combat straps or Kid's Ball Glove on Singularity. Copper Ring. Punishment of the Damned would no longer be able to damage survivors. Increase range of Punishment of the Damned by 8 meters. This would create an alternate playstyle that would allow you to use Punishment of the Damned to create long strips of trails within the environment, but not be able to use it in chase to attack survivors directly. Black Strap. Increase the range that Servants of Torment will grab down survivors by 2 meters. Wax Doll. These was the previous range add-ons. I wanted to change it to gain 10% more Rights of Judgment trails. Spearhead. Increase power generation by 4% for every tormented survivor to a maximum of 16%. Leopard Print Fabric. Increase Killer Instinct detection range for Servants of Torments by 4 meters. Forgotten Videotape. Reduce power recharge time by 4 seconds. Cinderella music box, unchanged. Batil sect photograph. Reduce power recharge time by 6 seconds. Tablet of the Oppressor. Increase power generation by 6% for every tormented survivor, to a maximum of 24%. Misty Day Remains of Judgment. Survivors hit by Servants of Torment will be inflicted with a broken status effect for 45 seconds. Mannequin Foot, unchanged. Burn in Man Painting. Gain 20% more Rites of Judgment trails. Scarlet Egg. Grants a 5% haste when walking on Rites of Judgment trails. Rust-Colored Egg. Survivors will instead have their aura revealed instead of Killer Instinct when activating Servants of the Damned. Increase the detection range of Servant of the Damned by 6 meters. Lost Memories Book. Reduce the animation of Servants of the Damned by 1 second, and increase the amount of time Servants of the Damned are active by 1 second. Crimson Ceremony Book. Punishment of the Damned now inflicts torment. Descent Goblet, unchanged. This one is, it sounds very strange at first because it's currently useless, but with the new advent of being able to create range trails, this makes sense that this effect would now be stronger than before, as you could stand on your trails, activate Punishment of the Damned, and have trails to still walk on, so you could actually walk on whole strips of your Trails of Torment without ever being not undetectable. Iridescent Seal of Metatron. Tormented survivors will now have their aura constantly revealed when within 8 meters of a trail. Tormented survivors will also suffer from 20% slower repair speeds. Torment now lasts 80 seconds and after will cleanse itself. This is a powerful add-on that might be too powerful or maybe not powerful enough, but one that would reward you for spreading torment and using it to actually hold map control and slow down survivors that aren't actively being chased. Not to mention, it does combo well with the Crimson Ceremony book, so that you can use Punishment of the Damned, inflict torment, and then split to a different survivor since they have slower repair speeds. Alright, well that's all for my changes. I think overall these make Pyramid Head not only a better map control killer, but hopefully a far more fun killer. Of course, in theory, this is just a concept, can't actually play with the changes, but of course I just have one more change. Just one little change. Behavior, please. Behavior, please. Please, bring back his cake. Bring back his cake. Please, I'm begging. I will buy a full price legendary skin. Please, I'm begging.